thinking about getting an under-desk walking pad, which as a physical therapist makes me very happy because we know that adding in some extra walking is one of the easiest ways to help with fitness goals, fat loss, pain reduction, all kinds of good stuff. And maybe you work from home or you sit at a desk all day, or like here, it's starting to get a little bit colder out. So you start looking for these walking pads or under-desk treadmills and then quickly realize how annoyingly expensive a lot of these are. So I want to show you the one that we ended up getting for our home setup because it's a great option. It came from Amazon, but it does have a few cons that I want to talk you through. I honestly don't know how to pronounce the name of this brand and I don't want to butcher it, but I'll leave an Amazon link down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I'm not sure what the exact pricing will look like at the time that you watch this video, so take this with a grain of salt, but I actually ended up getting this unit for right around $100 using one of the coupons that was on Amazon. I can't promise that that's still there or that you'll get it for the same price, but it does lead me to my first pro on this unit, which is just the affordability. A lot of these walking pads can go for multiple hundreds or thousands of dollars, so it's nice to have an option in a much lower price bracket. Now we will talk about some of the cons of buying a more budget unit like this, and this is certainly not the most premium or highest possible quality walking pad that you can get, so I will leave another Amazon link down below if you're looking for a much more premium version. But for most people who just want a simple walking pad to get some extra steps in throughout the day, I think this is a great option. So the first great thing is that this walking pad comes with a remote, so you don't have to bend down and touch any buttons when you're using it. You can store the remote at your desk or in a drawer and just pull it out whenever you're ready to use it. Then from there, all you have to do is press the start button and the treadmill is going to start up and you're good to go. To control the speed, all you have to do is press the plus or minus buttons and the treadmill will respond accordingly. It's very responsive, there's no lag time, and it just gives you full control over the machine without actually having to touch it. And then to stop or pause the unit, you just have to press the middle button one more time, and the treadmill will come to a stop. The pad has a small digital display which will cycle through a variety of stats and information. It'll show you the time you've been walking for, the number of steps that you've taken, the distance that you've gone, and the speed that you're going at. Now it's also going to give you some goofy estimation of calories burned. I wouldn't put any merit into that because it doesn't know your body, your fitness level, or anything else about you. But the other 4 stats are helpful and it kind of cycles through these one by one. Next up, let's talk about the speed. So right now we're on speed 1, which doesn't actually correlate to miles per hour like you might think. The speed ranges from 1 at the lowest all the way up to 6. Now again, this 6 does not represent 6 miles per hour, which I find kind of annoying. The actual speed range is from 0.5 miles an hour all the way up to 4 miles an hour. So what I'm assuming is that this top max speed of 6 actually correlates to 4 miles per hour. And just anecdotally, this does seem pretty accurate, as when you get up to the final speed, it feels like a very brisk walk or a slow jog. And this brings me to one of the biggest points with this particular walking pad, which is that this is definitely a walking pad and not a jogging or running treadmill. Now you could get a slow jog with this thing and get your heart rate up a little bit, but it's definitely not designed for long or fast runs. The motor is really quiet at most walking speeds, but it definitely gets a little bit louder when you get up into those higher numbers. So again, if you have any desire to jog on this thing or use it as sort of a multi-purpose treadmill and walking pad, I would probably go with something a little bit more built out for that. And the other big reason for that is going to be the dimensions. The dimensions are actually a really big positive for this machine as a walking pad. It comes in at just under 19 inches wide, about 4 feet in length, and under 5 inches at its maximum height. It's also only 47 pounds, which makes it really easy to pick up, move around, or store and get out of the way. We actually store ours right here when we're not using it, just by tipping it up and leaning it against the side of the desk. It's probably not the most ideal setup, but it works because we can keep the unit plugged in without having to unplug it and replug it in every single time. So whenever we want to use it, we just have to drop it down and put it in place. The unit also has wheels at the front, which makes it really easy to maneuver this thing or slide it under a bed if you need to. So the machine is compact and portable, and it makes it really easy to use it when you want to and store it away when you're not using it. The actual experience of walking on the pad is very smooth and comfortable. There's no shaking or jittering of the motor. It honestly just feels like any other treadmill in the gym, just shrunken down. Again, probably not the treadmill you want to be jogging on, but for walking, it works perfectly. Now, one other thing worth mentioning about this machine is just that it has a 300-pound weight limit. So it's going to be totally fine in most cases, but it's just good to be aware of that. And if you need something a little bit more heavy duty that holds over 300 pounds, this probably isn't the one. The one question I still have with this walking pad is going to be its long-term durability. We've had it for a couple months now, and my fiance has used it pretty extensively almost every day. So it's had quite a bit of use so far without any issues, but I am curious to see how this holds up over the next couple of years. Honestly, I think as long as you maintain this well and you're not constantly pushing the motor to its absolute limits and trying to run on this thing all the time, I think it's going to hold up totally fine for normal walking scenarios and just getting some extra steps in throughout the day. I think that goes for a lot of budget equipment like this walking pad or even this standing desk that we have. If you go with more budget options like this, you're usually totally fine as long as you don't abuse the equipment or push it to its absolute limits. Now, one thing to be careful of with this unit or any walking pad that you end up getting is just make sure you have enough space behind the unit. If the back of this belt is too close to a wall or some piece of furniture, like we used to have it right up against the end of the bed, you may end up catching your heel on whatever's behind you, and that can get pretty sketchy. So just make sure you have plenty of space for the pad. Again, this is pretty easy given that it is 4 feet in length and less than 2 feet wide, but just make sure you have a good spot mapped out for it. Again, as a physical therapist, I think these walking pads are awesome and a really great way to get some extra steps and movement in throughout the day, and I think they're well worth whatever price you pay for them. But that being said, you don't have to break the bank to get one of these, and there are some good budget options out there like this one. Does it have all the bells and whistles? Is it the most heavy duty, or is it great for jogging or running? No. But if you need just a simple walking pad to slide under the desk or slide under a bed, just to get some extra steps in throughout the day and increase your activity levels, this is a great option. Again, I'll leave an Amazon link down below to this exact unit and also an option if you're looking for a more premium model. But that's it for today. Make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.